Susan Williams is a criminal defense attorney in South Carolina, and she's a former prosecutor and provides legal analysis on this case, which she has been following very closely since the start. Susan, thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Can you shed some light on this top prosecutor stepping down and what he wouldn't say?
What I do know is that he had the advice and counsel of former Dean Wilcox and Professor Adams, who are well known in the South Carolina area for giving ethics advice, teaching ethics. And he promised the public in South Carolina that he would recuse himself should a conflict arise, and that's exactly what he did.
The shooting of Alec adds a whole new twist to this already mysterious case. How will this impact the investigation, and do you expect that he will be speaking with investigators about what he saw the night he was shot?
I expect that any statements that Alec Murdaugh gives will be in conjunction with how his attorneys advise him. The burning question here, obviously, is what is the connection between the double murders, if any, and this shooting? That is a question that has not been answered, has not been given to the public yet. There may be no connection. There may be the same person. We just don't know.
Right. And isn't that the most troubling part of all of this? Well, there are so many, but that the public is left to wonder, are they in danger? If this was random or if this was targeted, if there are killers on the loose that the public should be aware of. What are investigators telling people in that community?
Well, in June this year, after the double murders, there's a statement released that the public should not have any concerns for their public safety, but we have not been given that statement after the shooting of Alec Murdaugh. So we're not really sure at this point whether the public is in danger, if there's a shooter at large, or if law enforcement knows who the shooter is of Alec, or if they're all the same person, or if it's random. We just don't know.
Mm-hmm. Have we heard anything from the other brother, Buster Murdaugh, in all of this?
We have not had any public statements that I'm aware of, but Buster has been going through, I can imagine, an extremely difficult time. He's lost his mother, his grandfather, his only brother, and now his father has been shot. I can only imagine what poor Buster's going through, and my heart does go out to him.
Mm-hmm. So much loss in one family. Finally, Susan, before I let you go, the Murdaugh family has been described as powerful, a legal dynasty in that state. Talk to us about the family and any potential enemies that they would have out there.
They have been lawyers in the Murdaugh family for over 100 years, and there could be, with any prosecutor, could be enemies, disgruntled defendants, even disgruntled victims. As with any law firm, there are two sides to every story. It could be disgruntled, could be clients, could be disgruntled lawyers, it could be anyone from the other side. There are a number of reasons why lawyers could have enemies. And, you know, the Murdaughs have been a very successful family of lawyers all of these years. I want to say that as well, that, you know, that it isn't just the public is really only seeing a part of them right now that's bad, but they have done a wonderful things. They've been very generous with their talents in the community as well.
Mm. Just when you think it can't get any more tragic, it does. Susan Williams, I know you're following this case closely. We will continue to check in with you and others as it further develops. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.